Joining us right now is someone, if you're not familiar with him, you're really going to want to get familiar with him. Steve Earle, Ghost of West Virginia. It's your brand new album. Let's jump right in here. May 22nd is when it was released. Give us the background on how this all came together.
Well, it's about Upper Big Branch. It's about the UBB explosion, which was almost exactly 10 years ago. You know, the anniversary was just about a month before we released this, it's a kind of a long deal. I mean, Jessica Blank and Eric Jensen, who are friends of playwrights in New York City, they do a thing called documentary theater, and we'd worked together before. I'd worked in a play they wrote called The Exonerated as an actor years ago. And when Upper Big Branch happened, everybody saw it on national news, and most people that weren't in West Virginia forgot about it. Jessica and Eric didn't. They started working on a piece, and when they got to a certain point with it, they decided it needed music, and they called me because the music that I make and naturally kind of lends itself to telling the story about that part of the world. And they thought I could be of some help because I talk like this. So we came down and camped out in the Holiday Inn in Beckley and started talking to folks and listening to their stories. There were the people that wanted to tell their stories about this, and they started working on the play, and I started writing songs, and then we opened at the Public Theater in New York, and after 26 performances, the coronavirus shut us down. I decided to extrapolate this anyway into a full 10-cut record about West Virginia. It was the record I'd been looking for. I was trying to figure out how to make a record that spoke to and maybe for some people that maybe didn't vote the way that I did. Because I think we're in trouble because we spend a lot of time concentrating on how we're different from each other, from region to region and from community to community, rather than how we're the same. We probably have more in common than any of us want to admit. And that, I think, is what we're tripping over at this point in our history. So I was looking for a story like that to tell. And it just occurred to me when this fell in my lap, there was a reason for it. And that, pardon the pun, West Virginia might just be the canary in the coal mine and a good place to start that conversation.
One of my last questions to you, for folks who maybe haven't heard your sound before, how would you describe your sound? What can they expect if they pick up this album? Because I feel like you've sparked, just in telling how this came to be, I feel like you've sparked a lot of interest.
It's kind of weird because that's been a matter of some debate with a lot of people for a lot of years, the whole time I've been doing this. I started out being played on country stations, and I got too weird for them really fast. But nowadays, a lot of the stuff that got me kicked off country radio, it would be perfectly at home on country radio. But now I have the best band I've ever had. They can play pretty much anything that I write. It has deep, deep roots in old time music and bluegrass music that comes from the mountain region. So there's that there, but some of it rocks pretty good too. So, for one thing, one reason I was able to do this and had a responsibility to do this, I didn't talk to anybody that in the process of these interviews that had never owned a copy of Copperhead Road, which is my biggest selling record at one point in their lives. So that kind of gave me an in. And you know what? It also made me feel, okay, this is happening for a reason, and I have a responsibility to tell this story because I can.
Steve, is there anything that you want viewers who watch this to know, either about the Ghost of West Virginia or about you as an artist? Is there anything that you would like to relay to our viewers who are watching this?
Well, we had 4 shows that were scheduled in West Virginia for this summer that are obviously not going to happen. We've already rescheduled the Morgantown show for next summer. And my plan is I'm not going to make another record. I'm not going to do anything else. It's going to be Groundhog Day. Next May, I'm going to rehearse, get on a bus, and travel the country singing these songs and make sure these 29 guys' story gets told to as much of North America and Western Europe as I can reach in 3 months next summer.
Well, can I just say thank you for, I'm glad that you found it on your heart to want to honor those 29 miners at the Upper Big Branch. And thank you for taking time to chat with us today. Your album is called Ghost of West Virginia, and it was released on May 22nd.